Welcome, and thank you, Susan, for coming and talking to us about sneaky clauses in leases. What it means.
Yeah. So a sublease is when you've got your lease, you're what we're going to call now the master tenant. So you have your lease on your space, and for whatever reason, let's hope it's a happy reason, that you've grown and you're busting from the seams and you need to move into a bigger space. Okay. It can be for lots of reasons though, but we'll go with the positive one. You need to move into bigger space, but you still have time on your lease, and your landlord isn't going to want to give that lease up. They don't want to lose out on that money. And so, and the important thing here is that the rental rate for the lease is currently higher than whatever the market rate is. Okay. So in that case, the landlord won't be able to release the space to somebody else and kind of let you off the hook, because they stand to lose money, not make more money. So it could be that your only option is to sublease the space and pay for part of it. But the key is, who's going to help you find that space? You're going to need to hire a real estate broker to help you with that. And then if the market rate is different than the current rental rate, then you need to plan for that so that you can pay the difference, and we call it slowing the bleeding. And then you need to check your lease to make sure that the landlord will actually allow you to sublease. If the landlord does allow you to sublease, then you need to negotiate that entire lease and have the tenant sign the new sublease, which, by the way, is pricey. We need to get an attorney involved in that usually, because it's complicated. It's a complicated lease because there's a lease, and then it also harkens back to the original lease. So you kind of have to work with both of them. And let's see, and I lost my train of thought, harkening back to both of them. And then when it's all done and signed and everybody's ready to move in, then you have to share that with the landlord, and the lease will tell you how long. It could be that the landlord has 30 days to decide on whether or not they're okay with the sublease. They want to approve whatever that use is that's going into your space. So, and they would approve them from a financial perspective, and they would approve them from a use perspective, and they want to make sure that this new use doesn't conflict with anybody else in the center. So it can be complicated, and it can be costly. So they usually like to get their attorneys involved, and there's usually somewhere between, the lowest I've seen is a $200 fee. That's kind of sneaky, just to review the sublease, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've average about $500, and lately I've seen them to $2,000 to $3,000. So it's very, very expensive, or can be. But the main thing you need to make sure of is, does your lease say you can sublease at all? It may not even be in your lease. And I think, Lisa, you recently had a situation with that, didn't you?
We did. And so let's put it this way. There are things that go on that we have no part in. Right, Susan?
Tenants do their own, they get wily sometimes, and they do their own action, and don't realize that they're really stepping on their own feet. That's really hard.
That is so true. And given that we are going to have a lot of lease issues, we're already in the midst of COVID-19 lease issues. Do you see subleases increasing now?
Yeah, definitely. They're already increasing. Actually, interestingly enough, none of my clients, it's just how it happens to be, but there's no particular, I don't have a lucky charm or anything, but none of my clients are defaulting on their leases, nor are any of my landlords currently reporting that their tenants are defaulting. And so that's nice, but I do see it coming. I see it coming in a big way. Kind of depends on the industry that they're in, right? If you're a restaurant, you're in hot water.
Yeah.